money off of stock photography. Making money by selling stock photography is not that easy if you don't know how and where to start. Creating and selling stock photos also can become particularly tricky, but with the right approach and some careful and creative planning, you can easily start selling stock photos and really generate a side income. In this session, we're going to discuss planning your stock photos and identifying demand. Let's first look at the definition of stock photography. Stock photos are generic photos that can be used in a variety of contexts. You have editorial and commercial. They are sold to customers who want to use it for a specific purpose or project. That essentially means that stock photos have to have a specific meaning, purpose, or intent. One or many that can be applied to a variety of contexts. In order to sell your photos, they have to be of very high quality. You can't simply upload random photos stored in your gallery. So there is some planning that needs to go into your subject matter in order for the photo to be useful and for you to make money. Let's talk about planning out your stock photos. You need to have a content plan before you even begin to start shooting. During the planning process, you need to carefully consider your subject. Take into account these things. Who will be the target audience of your photo or photo series? These could be businesses, beauty or fitness bloggers. They could also be video editors for YouTube. Another target may be a news agency who uses specific photos for an article. Think specifically about your target audience and try to put yourselves in their shoes. What type of photos are they looking for? Write these down and keep in mind the context or the meaning you want your images to take. And look at examples of popular stock photos on platforms selling them. These platforms will be discussed at a later stage. Look at the ones that are the most popular and write down anything that stands out. Did the photographer use different angles of the same shot? How many contexts can your photos be used in? Would you personally buy that photo and why? Which brands and or industries do you personally know very well? Which stock images do you know will be profitable within these industries? Everyone knows everything about something. Whatever that may be to you personally, I want you to create a mood board where you can plan a specific concept or topic. Mood boards can easily be created on Pinterest or use a program such as Keynote. You can also scratch a creative itch and make a physical mood board. You can also simply make a checklist of ideas. Another thing you need to do is identify demand via keyword research. Researching what customers are actually searching for when they're looking for stock photos can help you generate some real profitable ideas. It can also save you a lot of wasted time and energy. So how do you do keyword research? Go look at popular stock photo selling platforms and take note of each category of photos the website has. And also dig a little deeper. For instance, within Shutterstock category of beauty and fashion, there are subcategories: cosmetics, shopping, clothing, models, hair, skin. You want to look into these subcategories. Also, look at trending topics on those websites. iStock, for instance, shows trending topics on their homepage. Adobe Stock publishes regular reports on their trending stock photo topics. It's worth your time to check that out. So really think proactively and plan ahead. Use holidays or events as your keyword guides. For instance, 4 weeks before Christmas, the internet is going to be booming with Christmas content. Planning ahead and taking good quality Christmas photos can be highly profitable. Think reindeers, Christmas trees, and fruitcake. And think of the creative ways you can photograph these. This can be applied to a whole range of holidays. Look at trending topics on the news and on social media. You can look at trending topics on Twitter, for example. There are many platforms where you can sell your stock photos. There are a variety of platforms where you can upload your stock photos to be sold as either editorial or commercial. Some may pay more than others. Some may also have stricter upload requirements, and you should look into that. Nonetheless, it's important to test out a variety of platforms and not to put all your eggs in one basket. Royalties for a single photo can be quite low for editorial, and spreading your collection across many platforms will increase discoverability. Some reputable platforms you may want to consider is Shutterstock, iStock Getty Images, Adobe Stock, 500px, Almay, Photomoto, Dreamstime, and there are probably a ton of other ones. You can also take a completely different approach from the traditional stock photo platform and sell via your very own website. You can easily develop this in programs such as WordPress or Squarespace. Taking stock photos becomes a lot more difficult when it needs to be done only from your home. If you find yourself stuck at home, it's time to get very creative with your stock photos. Take into consideration the tips from the last section. Planning around context and identifying relevant trends. And think of all the ways you can take stock photos utilizing just the things around you in your home. You can create a white backdrop for interesting still life photos. For instance, you can take photos of food, electronics, skincare bottles, clothing. Use many different color combinations with fabric, curtains, or blankets to really create various backdrop colors. If you have to, use roommates and family members as your models. Take photos that would be relevant to use for the coronavirus context. Working at home is a big trend right now. Washing hands, soap, hazmat suits, people with masks. Take photos of your pets or go into your garden or terrace and take photos of birds or other little creatures. Take photos of the mailman, a delivery guy, or go out into your street or the nearby park, if you can, and take photos of people. It's generally fine to take photos of people in public spaces. However, always be respectful. Remember, if you're photographing people or any kind of recognizable building, you're only using it for editorial purposes unless you get a release. Always get a model release if you can to increase your sales because you really want to be able to use these pictures commercially. 3 concluding tips to keep in mind. Give consideration to your photo's title, description, and tags. Always tag your photo with a relevant series of keywords. This makes it much easier for users to find them. Always keep the target audience of your photos in mind, from the planning stage all the way through the execution. Keep uploading regularly in order to build your online gallery of stock images. Stock photography is often profitable over time. A couple points: images must be sharp. Do not over-sharpen on the computer, as your images could get rejected due to what they call too much noise. So those are some tips for you to go out and start really creating a body of work, which we call a stock library. The great thing about creating a stock library is you need to think about the future of how you're going to possibly have to transition into a new way to be making money going forward. So not only during this current time, but think of ahead. If anything like this pandemic were to happen in the future, you have built a stock library so that you can be making money off your existing images. So I have an assignment for you. I encourage you to start creating a mood board of ideas that you can implement in your own home today to start creating that stock library.